Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
We're getting an echo back from Daniel over there. Sorry about that. Let's see, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Today's show title is Autism a Secret Soldier Program? Um, Today's format's going to be a little bit different. We are going to be switching the show over to Rumble at a certain point if we can get everything working because we have to be extremely careful about what we say and the subject matters that we speak of over on the old tube here, which is where a lot of our viewers are at. So we're going to give you some links today and we're going to try to migrate this thing over to Rumble so we don't have to code and watch what we're saying. Daniel will be with us momentarily. How many people? Hey, Captain Howdy, I see you out there. Don't understand that comment. Sorry, I'm lost on that one. Anita, very interesting subject. Hugs back to you. Oh my goodness, from Poland. Do we have any news in the house today? Anybody new here? Where are you from? How's your weather? We're gonna talk about this subject, but we're only gonna be able to briefly talk about it here until we move to Rumble. Like I said, because a lot of the things on here will get censored for, they'll strike down the video. We get warnings on our channel. Um, you gave up sugar. We want to be able to have an open and honest conversation with you guys. And I think about the only place we're going to be able to do that on certain subjects is over at Rumble. So we're going to start migrating the show over there. Today is a very interesting subject. I put a video out on some of the research I was doing for this a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys have watched it or not. We might touch on some of that information again today to show you where the train of thought in this theory is. But yeah, we got some questions about this subject. Hey, I got you muted because we got a bad echo on your end, Daniel. I don't know if it's something playing back there, but the Rumble feed's not working at the moment.
But the rumble feed not working.
I'm looking for
The
it.
rumble.
Fine. We'll cancel that. We'll cancel that. We'll cancel that. I'm looking for the phone. I'm looking for the phone. I'm looking for the
Oh, I don't know what that is, but it's stuck in some kind of horrible echo loop over there. I had to mute your mic because it was like breaking our ears on this side. I don't know what's going on with it. Howdy, Daniel. Daniel Hawthorne says hello. Can't unmute your guests because they choose to mute themselves. Okay. All right. I'll let you play with your buttons. Hey everybody, we're back. As we're going through some technical hiccups today, trying to move this thing over to Rumble. Um Daniel's got himself muted on his side trying to figure it out because we want to get this Rumble feed up so we can have a real conversation. The Turtle Tribal Nation. Oh, wow. Interesting thought and title I just got here. Please explain what you mean. The sound is awful. I'm sure you know. Yeah, we're working on the sound. Um, a lot of this is about the absolute explosion in the rate of autism. I went back the other day and was researching autism since the 50s and how much it had grown. I have an autistic child. Um, and there's a lot of questions I have. A lot of this started when I started listening to the telepathy tapes and realized some of the actual superpowers that these children have. Some of these children have been sitting in the corner in a classroom because they had gross and fine motor skill issues. And so they were thought that they essentially, and I put this in air quotes, were not there. They just assumed it was a body. And once these children learned how to communicate with their caretakers and their parents, you look distressed over there, Daniel. Once they learned how to communicate with their people, they realized that some of these children they thought weren't in there actually knew quantum physics and multiple languages and Guess what? They're telepathic. They all meet at night at this fabulous place called The Hill. You can learn an infinite amount of knowledge about the universe that we live in just by listening to the telepathy tapes. Um, I ask if you go listen to them. I don't make anything off of it. I'm not trying to push the product, but if you listen to them, please go listen to them with an open mind. Now, when you listen to them, make sure you're listening to them in order because for some reason they're a little out of order. But it is an amazing set of information. The lady that started it went into it from a documentary. She was a documentary filmmaker. She went into it for that reason, and it it has grown into so much more, and it's catching fire now that we know what these children are capable of. And it's not only these children, the nonverbal ones. There are other ones, and I think within all of us we contain possibly some superpowers. But for some reason, the number of autism has greatly increased since 1950. Because in the 1950s, it was like point 0.4 per 1,000 was the autism. And I completely understand that the way we diagnose them has changed the quantity. But from the 1950s, we went from point 0.4 per 1,000 being diagnosed with autism to now we are at 27.6 or 9 per 1,000. It's what's being diagnosed now. That is a phenomenal leap in numbers. But if you're thinking about that phenomenal leap in numbers over 75 years, you got to count in the fact that the medical technology that we had then versus now, the numbers should be going in the other direction. We are supposed to be the most technologically, medically advanced that we've ever been in our human civilization, as far as we're being told. So, why are the autism numbers going up? If you know so much, why are our autism numbers going up? And don't tell me that these kids weren't diagnosed back then because that's bull. Because some of those kids back then, if they showed any sign of autism, they got put in these mental facilities labeled that their parents couldn't handle them or didn't know what to do with them. And yes, Captain Howdy, I know very well what he did. Methamphetamine. Hitler dosed his soldiers with methamphetamine is what Captain Howdy's talking about. And I don't know if most of you know that what um, methamphetamine propagated as far as a medicine that they give our children now. It's the medicine for ADHD. Go look it up. That's what that evolved into. There were a lot of things that um, back in World War II that Hitler was researching. And one of the things that he was researching was on children, and he was looking for special abilities, and that is carried forward. And we've looked at so many puzzle pieces of how all the things from World War II and all the crazy testing he was doing on these poor people in these concentration camps. Some of them would blow your mind to find out some of this.
Would blow your mind to find out some of this.
What was all of that? Hang on, we're having a technical issue down here. Oh, private chat. I'm completely out of my Rumble window. I shut my Rumble window down because of the echo. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on, everybody. We're on technical difficulty mode today, trying to move over to Rumble. Let's see. All right, all my Rumble windows are shut down. You still got an echo coming back? I don't know why. Hang on, let me double check. Make sure it's not another window.
Echo coming back from
Hang on,
Rumble.
let me double check. Make sure it's not another window.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness, guys. Sorry. I don't have any other Rumble window open. This is the only window open on my PC is my StreamYard. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. Hang on. I'm making absolutely sure. I don't know. I have no Rumble running. This is the only window open on my PC, period. So it's got to be something in the Rumble Studio that's running up there on the Roxy channel, but Roxy's channel is not open on Rumble on my PC either. I don't know. I don't know how we're doing that because it's telling us at the top that the Rumble feed's not live. I don't know. I'm going to drop out of studio and I'll come back in and let's see if that'll shut it down.
Sorry, guys, we're trying to fix this.
All right. Now, do you have an echo? Can you hear me now? Do you have an echo?
One way to find out. Unmute.
Can you hear me now?
One way to find out. Unmute. One way to find out. Unmute. Let's try this. All right, let's try this. All right, let's try this. Hey, it might be working or fixed. It has to do, it's tied to the Rumble Studio. Now let's see if Roxy says something and it doesn't echo. Can y'all guys let me know in the comments if you can hear me now and if the audio sounds okay? Super Dave says it sounds good. 5x5. I apologize, guys. We're learning and trying to do things that are not easy at all to make happen, as you can see.
Yeah, the Rumble Studio.
What we're going to do after we have some conversation here is we're going to transition. We're going to give you a link to Rumble because we've got to talk about this subject matter that Roxy was talking about. And you talking about serious medical with YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that. It ain't gonna cost you anything. Anything to go over there. It will be like going beyond the veil, but it's just a click. All we're gonna do is give you a link here at some point. We've had ear rape. No kidding, right? That was bad. But sounds good now. So just waiting to see what the deal is with Roxy. Where you at?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Carmen G, I see your comment. Yep, absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And nobody's helping them. And it's very difficult because they're very difficult to help. They will lie to you, steal from you, rob you, everything you can think of.
Can you hear
Roxy,
me
you
now?
there now?
Can you hear me?
What it was, I believe it was I literally had to shut down every window and everything I had saved, even to show on this show, trying to find the source of the echo. But I think it was the ingress link. You there, Roxy? Wait a minute. Maybe it'd help if I unmuted my speakers because I muted those. Can you hear me, Roxy?
I can hear you fine. They can hear me. You can't.
Oh God. Okay. I ain't as sharp as I should be sometimes, but I was clicking everything I could to try to get the problem fixed.
We're good, guys. We're good.
I shut off everything, including sound, everything I had, and it was like it was still doing it. I'm like, what in the world is going on? But I think it was that. Remember when we were over in Rumble Studio and we were messing with the ingress link?
Yeah.
And I added it in here. Well, man, we've closed everything. Facebook shut down Facebook. We've shut down almost every channel. God.
We're okay, guys. Okay.
We about need to start over.
It's okay. We got our regulars here. We'll give them what they come for today. We're gonna have to figure out all that Rumble stuff when we're not on stage.
Well,
maybe that's a Thursday morning production issue.
I'm pretty sure it was that ingress thing, and it might not happen again with you just being in the Rumble studio, because I'm in it over there, and I just got my mic muted and my camera muted, but doesn't seem to be having a problem. I think it was that ingress link that I just kind of did off the cuff. Oh, look, there's this thing you can do here that might work like this. Nope, it didn't, but it did something.
It did not work that way.
Woo.
Okay.
That was horrible. All right.
Horrible. We're learning as we go.
Let's be careful with our words. Let's explain once again what we're going to what we're going to talk about when we go over to Rumble, and we're hoping all of y'all guys are going to come with us. It's just going to be one click, okay? And even if you don't have a Rumble account, you can still just click the one click, and it'll let you watch it just like you're here on YouTube. This is something. I didn't really want to do this, but I have got to do it. YouTube is
beating us down.
They are putting, and here's the problem. I've put too much effort, in a way, into YouTube, and too much trying to maintain it. And I still want to maintain the YouTube, and we're still going to be going live on YouTube. The thing is that what we're going to start doing is we're going to be about, 15 minutes, 30 minutes into the broadcast. We're going to let you know what we're going to talk about, and we're going to code our words, but we're going to get more serious about the conversations and allow the actual words to fly and not worry about censorship over on Rumble. Okay. And we want y'all guys to go and get a Rumble account set up. You don't have to. You're still going to be able to see it. But if you do have a Rumble account, you can comment, and you'll be able to participate in the comments over there, which we will be able to see, and we will be able to put up similar to this, I think. I'm pretty sure. And there's also other features that Rumble has that Roxy doesn't even know about, and y'all guys don't know about, and that is that I can ask questions. Don't you start that again. I can ask a question, and y'all guys can be part of a video by answering the questions. By clicking a link, it'll allow you to answer the question, record it with your mouth, and participate in a upcoming video or live. And it'll play your voice answering or talking about whatever the subject matter is. And it allows you to stop it, pause it, re-record it, get it the way you like it, the way you want it to sound and stuff, and be able to actually be in some of the videos. It sounds kind of cool as to what they're doing with that. So, whew, Lord, I feel like I about had a heart attack. But at least we got it kind of straight now.
These are our regulars. We love them. They know that we're trying to make better transitions for them because we don't want to be in a position where we are only able to give you 25% of the information, and that's where we're locked in now. When we're on the tube, we're just gonna say tube over here. We can only give you 25% of what we know because there are words and subject matters that even just saying the word gets us violations. And every time they violate us, they demonetize us. And we can't do it over here anymore, not have a real conversation about the truth.
We're literally suffering. And I'm not even kidding. Literally suffering because, damn it, I ain't gonna quit. You know, I will not be defeated. I will not quit. So help me God. I am not going to give in to these SOBs. These evil son of a biscuit eaters can kiss my rump. I'm just not going to quit. I'm not going to give in. They're not going to get what they want. And y'all guys are still going to be able to hear from me and Roxy and Shannon and other guests on a regular basis. Matter of fact, we have a guest coming up next Monday. We've got a guest this Friday. You guys might remember him. He is a street preacher. But this dude, I've watched some more of his videos. The dude is legit. I can't believe some of the things he goes through. That's Friday. Monday, in front of my house out here, let me see if I've got one of the photos here that I can actually show you. A few days ago, less than a week, a lady crashed her car right out in front. Yeah, here's the photo now, if it'll actually pull it up. Let me see. See if it'll let me open it. She crashed. What they did is they just repaved the road in front of the house, and they put pavement on top of pavement. And so there was a big lip drop off. And I was sitting out there, I said, that lip's going to cause somebody to wreck. And I knew it, but I didn't know it's going to happen right in front of my house. And she was coming down the road on the other side of the highway, and it's a 4-lane, and she ran off the edge of the road with her tires. And when she tried to pull it back on, the car snatched and overcorrected, and she literally just dove straight into a ditch and hit a tile. No running along the ditch. It was just as soon as she went in the ditch, she hit a tile for a driveway on the other side of the road, and she flipped end over end 3 times and destroyed her car. I'm trying to get the photo, but I don't know if it's going to open. No, I got photos, but she's going to be on the show on Monday. And I actually was able to get to her very quick. I happened to be outside on a bicycle, and Miss Kim ran over there, and the guy that was driving behind her and seen her wreck pulled over and came to her, and then I was like the third person there, and I shot over there on my bicycle coming back from the store, and she was out of the car sitting on this tree that had been cut down behind the car. That she didn't hit the tree. She just hit a ditch tile and flipped end over end 3 times. And I went to her immediately. I was in the military. I was trained at how to be an EMT. And I'm just a person that wants to help people anyways. So I went straight to her, started talking to her. I'll save all that conversation for when she's on the show on Monday. But I asked her a question, after I checked her out, and she was perfectly fine. End over end 3 times. Perfectly fine. And I wonder if anybody can think of the question I asked her. If you think about my experiences that I've told you about, my near-death experiences, I've told you about something that happens when there's an intervention, when your life has been spared. There's something that happens, something that takes place. Put in the comments what it is. Put in the comments what it is that happens. What is the question I ask her? I bet one of you is going to know it. So she's going to be on the show on Monday. I'll look at the comments here and see if I see anybody that has the right answer. But if you don't, ding, ding, ding. Anita got it. Time slows down. That's exactly right. Slow motion. Yep. I got another one that's got it. What's happening, Max? Chris, I see you out there, brother. Slow motion. I asked her, and I'm sure it was a strange question, because she had a little tiny scratch on her knee, and she had one little drip of blood on the tip of her nose right here, where her nose had gotten nicked by a piece of glass or something. One tiny drop of blood and a little tiny scratch on her knee. Other than that, she said she was fine. And I checked her out, looked at her eyes, checked her pupils, checked her out as best I could. And I looked at her after all that, and I said, "So you're okay?" Yeah. She said, I said, "Do you realize that you've just been spared?" She said, "Yes." I said, "You believe in God?" She said, "Yeah, I'm a teacher and I pray every day." And I said, "That's awesome." I said, "Well, there's been an intervention and you've been spared." And she was looking at me. I said, "Can I ask you a question?" She said, "Yeah." I said, Did time slow down? Did everything go into slow motion?" She said, "Yes, it did." That's it. That's it. Yeah. And I'm talking about an experience when you're in a near-death situation. People that a lot of times that don't get injured at all or very minor injuries, and a terrible thing. And it's happened to me numerous times because I've been really stupid in my life and put myself in danger quite a few times. And in that moment of when you're, in my case, running off the side of a bridge and you're going to crash into the swamp, and all of a sudden everything goes into slow motion and your car is put back on the road. And there's an explanation for it other than an intervention. That slow motion is a sign. And I bet some of you have experienced that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and work on our transition here. Hopefully we don't mess this up. Okay. You there, Roxy?
I'm here. They can stay with me and you go over and
Yeah, I'm gonna go over in the Rumble studio, and but I'm gonna have to leave here completely, and I'm gonna go over to the Rumble studio. I'm gonna fire up the live, and once I do that, Roxy's gonna come over and get the link to invite y'all guys to the stream. Worst case scenario, Roxy, get the link to the channel.
okay.
If you can't find a link to the stream, because this is all new for us, if you can't find the stream link, not the invite link to invite people in, because that ain't gonna work. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Worst case, get a link to the channel so they can at least find the channel and be able to see the lives happening there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Give me about 5 minutes.
I'm watching on another device. I'll know when you're there.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you over there. We're going to go beyond the veil, and we're going to talk about something that is extremely, this is literally groundbreaking. And Roxy is the one. See, I have a son that has autism. He's nonverbal. He's 20 some years old. He's been nonverbal since about 2 years and 6 months or somewhere's in there. He was verbal before that, even singing. Got his second year thingies, and this thing happened. Okay. What Roxy has figured out is the reason we would ask the question, well, why didn't they just kill the child? It's because they're experimenting, and we're going to go into it in depth over there. And Roxy has put together her own production, her own video that we're going, once we get over there, we're going to share it with you. And you could share it here too, but don't get the links mixed up.
No, I
Probably
just posted the link to move over to
get
Rumble.
over there. Yeah, probably wait till we get over there, but we're going to discuss it, and then we'll give you the link to all the research that Roxy did and put it all together and come into the understanding of this. And it has to potentially do with literally some of the things we've been talking about, but them looking to take advantage of it, building super soldiers, telepathic, not super as in super strong, super as in super capabilities, like a superhero. Okay. All right.
Bye bye. They're waiting on you.
All right. Probably about 5 minutes because I got to go to the little boy's room too. But all right, guys, we shall see you in just a few minutes. Come on over now. All it'll be is a single click. And if you don't have an account, you'll still be able to watch, and you can set up an account after the show. So
We're going to keep talking about it in general terms for a few minutes. Go ahead. Do
yeah.
your thing. All right. We're going to try this. We're going to see if we can migrate over there and see how everything works today. We hope all this works good. And I'm going to hang out here with you in case anybody has to come back that they can't get over there. I'm in the chat over there. I'm not actually on stage and live, but I'm monitoring while he gets everything set up. Yes, I have a 30-year-old autistic son. If you look at my son just walking down the street, you would have no idea this kid has autism. He has a lot of social things. You have a conversation with him in general, you probably wouldn't realize how deep the autism goes. My kid's a hermit. He doesn't want to be around people. If there's more than a couple of people there or he doesn't know them, he's done. He's out. He's gonna go. He don't do family reunions. He don't do Christmas other than like with us and his sister, you know, niece and nephew, that kind of thing. Immediate family. A bit, and most of the time, if it's more than 3 or 4, he's out. So for a long time, I thought something I had done wrong had maybe caused some of this. Um, there were some other mitigating health factors. Yeah, mine's a hermit too, Becky. Um, like all he wants to do is play his video game. He has hyper focus on that thing. And that's kind of one of the theories that went into my brain with this. But those rates have risen so greatly, and I just picked 1950 as a starting point to see what it was back then. Because, back in the 50s and the 60s, we're starting to get more localized commercial hospitals and more doctors' offices and more specialists. Um, they diagnose a lot of things now as autism, Jenny. I've seen quite a few things. Now, I have 2 children, and yes, they are both 30 years old, and no, they are not twins. My biological children are 6.5 months, about 7 months apart. One was born in February, one was born in October. Yes, that is humanly possible. I had my daughter in February when I went the beginning. When I went back at the end of February for my 30-day checkup, I was pregnant again. So I just went from one pregnancy to another. I carried him 29 weeks. When he was born, he weighed just a little over a pound. He stayed in natal for quite some time. But when he came home from neonatal, he was good. He was on his milestones other than, the neonatal, and he was a little bit behind from that. But as far as his milestones, he was okay. There was a particular age and a particular incident that happened, and I watched the light turn off in my child's eyes. He went from this happy, smiley, interactive child to just this grumpy, didn't want to be around anybody, just wanted to be by himself. Um, it gave him problems all through school. But that's where my brain goes down this road of I've done a lot of research on World War II, and I've done a lot of research on Hitler and some of the scientific experiments he was doing because they just they were doing some weird stuff. But if we're at a medically, technically advanced age, why are these numbers going up? So down the rabbit hole I went. What are we continuing to do and progressing doing that's causing this? What causes a lot of this? Um, it's a particular substance in your body that is not natural and should not be in your body. But it's put in your body um, multiple ways, but it kind of creates this tangle in the fibers, the neurological fibers, and information gets jumbled. That's not how all of it comes about, but I think that's a great deal with the increase in the numbers we have. Um, I really want to say what I want to say, but I can't say it on here. So, if you're still here, go over to Rumble. We're gonna get a lot deeper over there, and I can show you some of the research I found because today's title is it creating a secret soldier program? Well, who needs soldiers? So that should tell you who I think may be behind creating it without saying it on here. Um, I come across some TikToks the other night of some people that were in the military and they kept making comments about you wouldn't believe how many people around us are autistic and super focused. All right, I think Daniel's over on Rumble. All right, has everybody got the Rumble link? We're going to try to move over there. Here's the Rumble link. All right, so he's trying to text me now that he's ready. Why is your heart racing, Becky? Becky, you got to come to Rumble. I know I got some autistic moms on here of autistic children, so y'all come with me to Rumble because this is going to shut down completely everywhere but Rumble in just a minute or two. All right, guys. Uh, all right, he's ready. We're going over to Rumble, so this is going to go down. Come on over there so we can continue to have our conversation. Please join us. The link is in the comments. All right, guys. I'll see you on Rumble. What is it? No, I'm not finished.